Hello, everyone. My name is Brett Franklin, and this is my lovely wife, Bonita Franklin. We are the Oregon
Hello.
Angels, presents a helping hand. And today's topic will be
Careers helping people with disabilities.
all right. So we'll start diving into that.
First of all, we just want to check in with everybody and see how everybody's holidays were. Um, we've kind of been quiet on here the last couple of weeks. We've kind of been trying to give everybody time to spend time with their families for the holidays. And we just got back from Seattle ourselves
Yes.
last week. So, um, we're just gonna get back into this, and if you guys have any questions, let us know, please.
Yes, we would love to hear how everybody's holidays was. Hope that everybody was safe, because I know here in Oregon we got to see our very first snow, and it was snowing pretty good over here. And even when we went to go visit my brother and my sister-in-law and my nephews, it was snowing over there in Seattle, Washington. So it was very interesting, seeing all that.
Yes, it was. It was very beautiful, and um, it was definitely a first experience for us, and we couldn't have had better people to show us how that was. So that
Yes,
was really, it was really a treat.
yeah, it definitely made us more appreciate more time we can spend more time together,
Definitely.
and hopefully try to do more activities that we can do, even like doing game night or something like that. It made me really appreciate, how strong that their um, their circle is, how they were doing. It was really nice.
Hmm. And and this just goes back to the core of your family is your family, and big shout out to our Californians, and
Yes,
we miss you
miss you
guys,
guys
and we
much.
cannot wait to see you guys in 3 months. We love you guys.
Dearly, love you all.
You know, I know you guys probably don't hear it enough, or you guys don't see us, but you guys can see us on here
Yes.
every almost every Monday, and okay, so we're just gonna get into this, and I'm gonna start giving you guys some information on individuals with disabilities, helping them with careers. Because, okay, this is the thing: people with disabilities aren't just people with disabilities; they're human beings. Okay, come on,
This is
let
something we're still pretty lacking on, that we really need to.
and we need to give these individuals an opportunity, because letting them just um
Maybe
not
workshops and
yeah
stuff like that.
yeah
Just they
that's
need to be
that
more out there in the community.
our best friend Heather is gonna be coming from California, and hopefully we hope to go in the direction of helping her become more independent. This is just an example. um the thing of it is people with disabilities aren't just people with disabilities. They have their wants, they have their desires, and they can do anything that we can do. So let's not be closed minded to that. And if you have an opportunity, not only here in Corvallis, all over the world, um, give somebody with a disability a chance, because you never know how they may surprise you.
Yeah, like for say that, like more research we got to learn, because my brother works for Microsoft, and his office is literally right next to Bill Gates. If anybody knows the history of Bill Gates, he even has disabilities. So for him, for somebody who came from the bottom and made this huge company with Microsoft, and how much it really just expand. So all the hard work that you can do, it can exceed. So you just gotta,
Let's just encourage each other, please.
yes,
Like, that's all we can ask. And I know that we say this a lot, but that's our main advocacy, is people with disabilities and helping them. So you will hear us talk about it a lot, okay? And it is a super important subject to all three of us. So
Yes.
okay, I'm gonna get into this. If I read this too fast, please
Let us know.
let us know.
We'll go slower.
Yes. Okay, so the 8 main types of disabilities and careers that help. Disabilities come in all shapes and severities, from minor vision or hearing loss to major spinal cord injury. And some disabilities may not be noticeable even by the person who has it. To help better understand and organize disability research and overall care, the World Healthcare Organization created 8 distinct categories, each with a unique set of disabilities within. We've detailed them below and included information on some of the most popular careers that might make a difference.
Okay. And if anybody thought that was too fast, please let us know. We'll go slower.
Mobility and physical disabilities. A mobility or physical disability is one of the most common disability. They refer to any type of disability, that impacts a person's movement, coordination, or dexterity. These types of disabilities can exist from birth, follow an accident, or occur after an illness. Mobile or physical disabilities include amputation, arthritis, cystic fibrosis, fibromyalgia, fibro myalgia, or muscular dystrophy. Um, what's needed. The level of assistance will vary based on the type of severity of the physical impairment. For some, using a pair of crutches for a few months is more than enough. For others, a lifetime of professional medical care plus extensive medical equipment may be needed just to survive. Most with mobility and physical disabilities should expect to use a physical aid of some kind, or at least for a short period of time. So basically, what this is saying is that there is different forms of disabilities, and you know, let's just put this out there. Um, let's encourage these people with disabilities. Let's not just cut it down to, oh, they have a disability, so they're incapable of doing what's asked of them. You know, it's not nice for one,
No.
and two, it cuts down, um, you know, the fact that their value of life and their ability. And I personally do not like it when somebody does that to me. You know, coming from experience, I really had to push through, and it's not always nice to have people look down on you just because you have a disability, or talk to you differently because you have a disability. Do you have anything to add to this?
Well, I can say for probably both of us, a lot of times we don't really tell people, especially with the jobs we go to, that we don't tell them that we have disabilities because we're so afraid people are like, oh, well, we don't want to be responsible if something goes wrong with them. So that's one thing I think we should be afraid to tell people what our disabilities are. We can learn from, okay, what is our weaknesses and our strong points that we can work together as a unit instead of them always, oh, I don't know if I would want to be responsible. So yeah, I think still got a lot of things we need to learn.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into this. Hello, Ray Rivera. Nice, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining.
Okay, so the next section that I'm gonna go over is therapist. Physical therapists work with patients to treat and improve body movements and reduce physical pain, often through physical exercises and stretching. Physical therapists can work with a variety of patients, such as those recovering from an accident, receiving medical treatment for a chronic disease, or living with a permanent disability. Physical therapists also observe patients to help create a treatment and assess the effectiveness of existing treatments. The Bureau, or
Okay.
the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates the demand of physical therapists to grow by 28% from 2018 to 2028. Physical therapists earn a median salary of 87,930 in 2018.
Wow.
So, also, like, these people are also helping. I'll take you back to when I took care of my grandma. She had to have a lot of physical therapy, and by no any means did it get her back to 100%, but it did help her mobility. um let's just kind of step back and remember what these people have to go through to help you.
Yes.
Because it's they're putting their potential health risk in your hands. So um let's just keep that in mind. You have anything to add to that?
Just definitely, we just need to learn a lot more about each individual, just have a better understanding what they go through.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else join us? No.
If everybody thinks we went too fast, just let us know. We will go a lot slower till. Or if you have any questions, we can get better, you know, understanding what we're talking about.
Okay, so the next one that I'm going to go on to is head injury and brain disabilities. Okay, so head and brain injuries can be devastating. They can impact how a person thinks, their personality, and who they are. Two common types include the brain injury ABI and traumatic brain injury TBI. ABI usually refers to brain injuries that occur on the cellular level, often due to a medical issue. In contrast, TBIs are often the result of physical trauma due to an accident. TBIs and ABIs can range from mild to severe. Some individuals have brain disabilities that were there at birth and persist through their lives. Other types of brain or head disabilities include brain tumor, dementia, epilepsy, Huntington's chorea, and a stroke. And I really need to put more research into these, but um coming from experience and knowing a couple of people that's had to go through a couple of these, it's not fun.
Like I know even the stuff you had to kind of go through with your seizure thing, that was quite a process to try to really get a better understanding that there's more than one different kinds of seizures.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always thought it was just like one thing where you're just doing a lot of floating and then, but like with her, it's different where she's just completely just I'm trying to get the right term,
Lethargic.
lethargic, which is totally just like just spacing out, and then eventually just just don't even remember like what happened at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very interesting thing to go through. So if anybody else wants to like know about it, we would gladly do more research about that and do another live and talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to what's needed because brain disabilities can be very widely. The type of care or assistance needed can vary widely as well. For minor cases, short-term physical or occupational therapy may suffice. For example, helping someone recover from a stroke by learning how to walk or eat again, with a full recovery being possible. With more severe brain injuries or disabilities, the therapy could be permanent, with the person being able to live independently with some basic assistance. Or the person might need around the clock care plus the use of medical equipment or communication devices. They might need help with all aspects of life, including bathing, eating, drinking, and sleeping. Can you imagine that?
No, but we just found out a lot about with very famous actor that we got to meet at the Comic Con in Seattle, Washington, Mr. Tim Curry, who had this pretty much the same kind of symptom with the strokes. A lot of strokes through the years.
But let me tell you, this man had a smile on his face.
Oh, that was
And-
awesome.
Yeah.
Especially when I got him to kind of talk a little bit with me. Oh, it was. Even told my wife, don't even have to worry about like anything for Christmas. That was such a special moment for me. Because I even told him like you're one of the reasons why I wanted it to be a actor. Like it was he's such a gifted individual, especially when he did the original Stephen King's It. He made me fall in love with the whole Pennywise genre. So it was just like he made it worth it. And of course, here's our little companion right here. Her name's Chloe. She wants to be right there, right in the middle of both of us. Okay, Chloe. Okay, okay. So yeah, I definitely can't imagine what it'd be like. That, but I can tell you this, it does not stop Tim Curry to keep doing what he does. Especially, not really, he doesn't really act anymore, but going to conventions and stuff like that, it's really, pretty cool that it doesn't let him stop him.
If any of you guys ever want to join us live, who's ever watching, we do have the option of bringing you on camera. So if you guys, and that's Wes behind
That's Wes Howard behind us.
So if you guys ever want to join the conversation, please don't be afraid to let us know. Or also you can visit organangels2021@gmail.com and email us your questions and we can get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so I'm gonna get back into this. The next section is called Occupational Therapist. An occupational therapist help patients learn how to perform seemingly routine functions after an injury, such as dressing or preparing food. They may also teach.
It stopped.
Oh.
Sorry, everybody. I have my phone going on live on Facebook as well, but all of a sudden it stopped on me. Okay, I'll just post that and do another one.
Okay, so I'll start over then.
No, you're cool. It's fine. It didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm gonna start over with the occupational therapist, just in case we got cut off. I'm gonna start from the beginning. Okay, so occupational therapists help patients learn how to perform seemingly routine functions after an injury, such as dressing or preparing food. They may also teach a caregiver the best way to help someone with a disability, evaluate a patient's current condition, um, and determine their specific needs or course of treatments. The Bureau of Labor Statistics report that occupational earnings are a median salary of, hold on just a second.
It's right here.
Oh no, that's to mine. Just a second.
If anybody thinks that we're going too fast, please let us know. We will gladly go back and go real slow so tell her.
Okay, so the median salary is $84,270. Now this was in 2018, and their expected growth rate for 2018 to 2028 is 18%.
Wow.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Hello, Tyler. How are you?
Hi, Tyler. All right. Next one. Okay, so I'm gonna read this one, and then it's not letting us stay on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue reading this, and then I'm gonna kind of wrap this one up for the day, so that way we don't get cut off again.
Well, I can always go on TikTok, go on that one.
Yeah.
That won't get cut off.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave off there. Spinal cords, disabilities. Okay, because we gave you guys a lot of information, and so we want to kind of open this up to everybody. Hopefully, can still see this live. Hello, Tyler. How are you? We're good.
We're doing good, Tyler. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Would you like to come on camera?
Let's see.
Okay, so we're gonna wait for a response from Tyler. And if you guys have any questions, please let us know. Like I said, we're really big on advocacy. That's our main goal as a company, and also we have a lot of good things going on and coming up.
Especially the school district. Hopefully, we're really get it going on with the schools, starting here in Oregon, and hopefully we can really get it to where it's all over the world.
Okay, well, I'm gonna wrap it up with myself, and I'm gonna bring Wes in here. But I really appreciate your guys' time, and I appreciate everybody listening to me. I'm gonna pass this over to Wes and see if he has anything to add for this week, and I will be right back.
All right, thank you. Ooh. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all today. How everybody doing?
Hi, everybody. Wes, I don't bite, I promise. This guy does.
It might look like because I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt. We just, I believe it was 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago, we got to check out the new Spider-Man movie. It was very interesting. The things that we kind of went through, just trying to, because at first not the screen, but the projector broke. We're like, oh no, okay, now what we're gonna do? So they just put us with they believe the 6 o'clock show all together. Definitely, probably should have said no because it was pretty crowded and COVID is still kicking
Yeah.
still, so
Yeah, they were kind enough to give us a free movie pass for another time.
so we're like, sweet. So we're probably gonna end up using that for Ghostbusters, or maybe we'll do something later on. We're still kind of picking on maybe do something. Maybe put it with our fundraiser stuff that we're gonna be doing
yes,
real soon.
yes. So anything's possible with that one. So stay tuned on that. But that was some good information though that Bo passed out there, gave out.
Yes.
And it's so true. You don't want to. The disabled community does get overlooked and kind of treated like a second class citizen, which is kind of a sad thing, really.
Oh yeah.
Bryce playing with his phone.
Yeah. Hi Evan.
But no, it's, and just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So just as something I like to remind people, just because you may not be able to see a disability doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There are disabilities that do happen on the inside. I remember, like, people like arthritis. People may not think how much that can actually affect someone, but really it does affect your mobility and it really does slow people down quite a bit more than they realize. So don't be quick to judge on that.
No.
I know brain injuries or brain disabilities are a common thing where people don't have full grasp on. There's a lot of people, and I can understand where a lot of people come from with if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. I can, in a way, I can see where they're coming from, and I can understand where their feelings on that. But at the same time, though, I think we can prove it through research now, prove it through therapists and all the research that they've done on saying, yes, this is how the brain works. We're now learning on why this doesn't work the way doesn't work in this way, why it should work this way, and whatnot on that. So I just would recommend to a lot of people to start to read up on the information. And if you have questions or want to know more, go to our email, organangels2021@gmail.com. Shoot us any questions you may have, or thoughts, or something, or even something you want us to cover. Just please send us that email. So organangels2021@gmail.com. Send us anything you're thinking. Please be respectful, though. We understand that people have different opinions, and we respect people's opinions on stuff. But please be respectful to each other out there, because it's too oftentimes people get mad over something that's not worth getting mad on. So
yeah, especially with people with disabilities, because you might not think about it's a little harder for us to just take it and not have emotions for it.
yeah,
It can really hit us really hard with it.
and that's true. And I'd like to add on to it. What Brett's saying here is that many of those with disabilities, it does hit them hard. The emotions that it plays on them, they have feelings just like anybody else. And just the effect that it can take, they may not understand where people come from. So if you like to joke around, they may not understand that you're joking, and won't take that serious, and you take it to heart, even though that was not your intention. So get to know the person, to see how they function, how they work, see what they can handle before you really start joking with them, because you'll have to learn how they can handle it, because they're not going to really understand. So, and with the feelings, like I said before, they're human beings. Individuals with disabilities are humans too. They feel sad, they feel happy, and they may take them a while to understand, comprehend the saying, or just may take them longer to deal with on the emotional level. So just be careful on how you treat them. And no, they won't break, but don't look down on them either. Just like that saying, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it.
Don't say it.
So just be careful how you address things, because individuals with disabilities may just blow up, and not because they don't understand what's being said. So
And it's really sad. It's really easy for us to be manipulated or be used very often. That it
yeah,
really needs to stop.
it does. And I want to go through, share a few words that are of a negative, that have negative impact. There are a few words out there that should be completely ignored. Such words like retard or retardation is actually a very unacceptable word to be used. I know it's common to hear people say, "Oh, you're retarded," to a friend of theirs. Well, okay, that might not mean much to you guys, but really to an individual that is disabled, that has mental issues, that's very degrading towards them. So,
It's like to us, it's like a racial term.
you
To
know,
me, like especially with me, when somebody said that, especially when I was little, it was just, oh my goodness, so many emotions were going because I was just like, no, I'm not.
yeah, no, yeah, and it is very painful, really, because if you see people say it and watch the negative impact,
You're like, I'm not stupid.
yeah, no, it's very, very, very rough. And then another word that's often used that should not be used at all is idiot. Because an individual with mental disabilities they may not have the cognitive skills necessary there, or they may have to learn them. It may take them a while for them to learn them. Um, that's another term that's oftentimes used towards an individual with disabilities, which needs to stop. Is idiot, and frankly, there's no one's really truly an idiot unless you intend on being that way yourself. But if that's the way you prefer to act, then that's on you.
Yeah.
But really, though, what you say and who you say it and how you say it's very important. I had an awesome fourth grade teacher when I was in elementary, and she had a great saying um, about using words and about name calling with people. She taught us at the beginning of the year, and that's something that stuck with all of us. Is what you call another person is that you're really that name. You're really calling that person that name is you're really the person that's being that. So if you use the word towards someone, oh, you're retarded, you're really being that because what you're doing is not acceptable. You know, you think you're degrading this other person, well, you're really degrading yourself in the process. And so, like with the various words, like we're saying, retard, idiot, slow, moron, it's just be careful, people. We just beg you to just think before you speak these certain words, because at the end of the day, words, whether we want to accept it or not, can hurt. So,
Because when I was little, I heard that so many times, and it's like a chalkboard, nails on a chalkboard. I hate that word.
yeah, and it's interesting though, because like from what I've understood or understand that in psychology now I'm no psychologist or any of that stuff, so I'm still learning this. But one of the things I did learn not too long back was the impact of the negativity that has on people will eventually show. From what I've understood about this article I was reading, was that the brain starts to show different chemical aspects, starts to show certain things happening on a negative effect in what's inside the brain.
Mhm.
And yes, we don't know a lot about the brain, but what we are starting to learn, starting to understand, we're starting to see that, hey, yeah, if you hear a certain word so much over a period of time, you're going to eventually believe that. And it's going to have that negative effect, not only on you emotionally, but mentally on your brain, that there's, from what I understand, there's certain parts of your brain are not going to work correctly or work the way that they should because of that. So, and I found that very fascinating, really.
Yeah.
Um, and just think about it. 100 years ago, we're in the year 2022 now, but just think about 100 years ago, they were just very in the infancy of psychology, therapy, just starting to get an understanding of what a lot of stuff was. I mean, if you had seizures, they thought you were possessed by the devil. Some things they used to do were cut people's brains open and remove the frontal lobe because they thought that would relieve the seizures or the disability part. But really, they were just taking out a very important part of the brain that, for whatever reason, had stopped working correctly on that individual. Um, and it's just the scariest thing to think about. Over 100 years ago, people were just thrown into the silent and just were kind of forgotten about. And this movie I refuse to watch to this very day, and I watched it because it had an actress in it that I like. I followed her career for the most part, and it's called The Disappointment Room. And back in the 1800s, what was sad is if you were a very well-off family, well-to-do family, and you ended up having a child that was disabled, what they would do is they would have a room made if they already hadn't made, and they would leave their child in there, and it's called the disappointment room. And they kind of hid this child away. They hid this family member away with disabilities because it was considered taboo at the time. And just because that just goes to show how we didn't understand disabilities and what anything. So it was more of a we're going to ignore it by putting you over in this room. And it was very, very sad. And I don't watch that movie. I won't watch the movie again because it is. Yeah, it was meant to entertain, but just the fact that I understand the meaning behind it and the heartbreak behind it is the reason why I don't, won't watch that movie. So just, think about people. Just think about how we treat each other. I know we're in tough times right now with this whole COVID thing, and it seems like we can't quite figure it out or whatnot. But I really would like to encourage people to really treat each other kind out there right now.
Get better understanding about these people.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely encourage. I know it might be disturbing. I definitely probably wouldn't let children watch these videos. But you go on YouTube and type asylums with people with disabilities. You're going to be it's going to be very disturbing. I'm not going to be lying. Even when we first saw it, it was very disturbing, especially the one here in Oregon. It was just like, whoa.
Fairview.
Yeah, Fairview. Very disturbing. But that's why I feel like it's important for them need to put these like in the history, so people need to realize, the struggles that happen with people with disabilities, that we're still kind of struggling with this problem is still that we need to really, really need to fix. Because we are individuals just like you and you.
And that's so true that individuals with disabilities are just like anybody else. You got feelings, emotions, dreams, goals, the whole 9 yards. And it's interesting to watch how we evolved from thousands of years ago until now. How it's taken us so long to get to the point where we're just now starting to understand it better and having the research done. There was times where throughout history, and this was the sad reckoning that throughout history and some of it was understandable. Doesn't make it right, but it was understandable. Where there was survival of either the family or survival of the community. But oftentimes, if there was a disabled individual, oftentimes they would have been killed in one way or another, whether they were left out to be hungry and die by nature, or thrown off a cliff, or whatever it may have been. It was pretty brutal, and that is sad that we, as supposedly this very intelligent, species, are killing individuals because we don't understand. And frankly, that has to end. Really.
Yes, it really does.
It's heartbreaking, and I could say you for the next forever and ramble on about it, so I'm not going to do that. But
I think that's why it made us very passionate by doing this, because we really we're ready for a change, and we want to much because I know a lot of us will never live forever, but you know that it's the way I want to go down is at least I try to make a difference.
Yeah, and definitely that is very powerful within itself. And I know one thing that we're working on right now that I like to let people out there know, individuals, and especially like my good friend here, um, may have a learning disability or may have a minor disability, but you've been working on trying to get your driver's license.
Yes, I've
And
been trying really hard, but man, here in Oregon they don't have. Um, I wish they would have the chance, um, like how California had a thing where if you tell them that you have disabilities, you just have to know the basic signs, and then you tell them, okay, this is what this sign means, this is what this sign means. And then if you get them all right, then you qualify to do true and false questions. And this is where I definitely wish they would do this more around the whole board for anybody who has disabilities and wants to be, wants to drive, get their license. I definitely recommend that all over the world that they should be having this kind of thing where do the true and false questions. So we're trying to wrap all of the information that we can find and go to Salem, Oregon, and talk to the governor and see what we can do to fix that here. Starting point here in Oregon.
and we would appreciate all the people out there. Send us an email stating your support for this and that you stand behind this. Because what we want to do is that there's so many individuals that have disabilities that can drive, that have the intelligence and are capable. It's and like in your case, it's something what's in the test itself, the way it's wording that was your disability. It kind of throws you off.
Yeah, it freaks me out because I hear two. Well, in the beginning, I get it. I start getting it down, but then all of a sudden, then they change where you'll hear two answers. It sounds it could go either or,
Yeah.
and that's where it's so frustrating because I'm like, okay, I read the book, did all the stuff, the practice tests, and all that stuff, but it's so hard because you keep getting stuck into these two. Which one is more accurate, and which one is just like okay, it's a throw off one.
And yeah, and even though both of them are correct,
Yeah,
it's
if
the
you
right
or
answer.
and they even tell you after after the test is over, oh, it could have been that one too, but it's
The answer key said no, we want this one. Well, so please join us in terms of giving us the support through our email organangels2021@gmail.com and give us your name and just simply say I support the change in the driving test laws.
yes. And I'm
And
telling you, it's gonna be so much simpler for people with disabilities because they kind of make the test not as much. I think it goes to like was it 20?
20, yeah.
20 questions, and all you hear is one answer, one just basic answer that it's just what the basic law is.
Yeah. And where a lot of it is where I think a lot of individuals with disabilities kind of get thrown off is what you're saying is that there's so many answers that I think they become overwhelmed with it. And at the same time, there's two answers that could be correct at any given time. So our goal is for individuals that are capable to drive that are disabled. We're trying to make it to where they have that a fair opportunity to where they can actually go for it. And be able to have an opportunity. Because to think about that's one of the biggest goals for individuals with disabilities to have independence. And for them that can have the ability to drive, to have that little extra independence is the biggest thing in the world. And that's one of our biggest goals is to make sure that they have that opportunity to further their independence in life and to live a life that is so worth it for them. Um, So that's just a big goal for us right now is to get that. We like to see the test change from 30 questions to 20 questions. We like to have a true false or even a what is this, and if there's signs, we like to make sure that they understand which signs that they're looking at. So that's our goal, is to shrink it down by 10 questions here and make it a true false, and make it to where they understand the signs. And that's our goal right now. So the more support we have on this, the best. So again, please go to our email, OregonAngels2021@gmail.com, and just give us your name and just tell us how you want that you're willing to support this. Because when we go up, we'd like to be able to show
How much support we have.
Oh yeah, and then this would be big. The more support we have, the better. If you'd like to join us on this and go and sit and show the support, we would love that too. Just give us your information through the Gmail we have at OregonAngels2021@gmail.com. Send us that information, and we're really happy to have you join us on this.
Please.
Because we want to show that unity. We want to show that support out there.
Because in California, I actually passed it the first try doing when I did the true and false question. What got me is when I went to do the behind the wheel one, they told me my paper expired, but I was like, what if I made the appointment after I passed it? Well, you guys didn't tell me, okay, we're gonna make the appointment where this is gonna be your last day before your paper expires. So we can at least get you getting going with that, because I know personally that I can pass the behind the wheel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know I can do it.
And it's really, just that opportunity to get there and do it.
Yes.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. I keep getting stuck with the two answers thing. It's just it's frustrating.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's happened to many other people who've tried to take the test.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was going in to get my test and getting my permit. That was a frustration for me, because I knew that when I was looking at the answers, and I started driving in California, and then I changed my California license to an Oregon license now. But when I was going through the test, it took me a few times. But what it was that, like you're saying, it had, out of the four answers, there was two that I knew was correct. But yet I chose the one that they weren't looking for. And it's like, okay, well, I showed you that I know what you guys are asking here. It was either this, or this.
Mhm.
And what, if you want us to be more specific on what you're looking for, just give one correct answer.
Yes.
Instead of two or three. Because then at the end of the day, it's like, hey, I gave you a correct answer. It could have been this, or this.
But I still failed. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it was. I think after it was a few times, every time after I did mine, I could feel frustrated because I was always missing it by 2 or 3 questions to be able to pass the test. And it's like, really, and even though I knew the answer, I knew that stuff was working, I was just, getting that. No, we wanted this versus, well, either one would work, guys.
Yeah. Then they threw the trucker thing on. Like, I don't plan ever driving one of those big rigs. I don't know why you guys put that on the test, knowing I'm never gonna drive those things.
Yes. The biggest thing, what's interesting about that was you saying that. The biggest thing about big rigs is that as other cars on the road, is just making sure that when they're turning right to give them the space that they need, just being observant on that part. Because a lot of them, as you've seen, do take that big
turn. Yeah.
That and just making sure that you're paying attention to them where they're at on the road, especially on the freeways.
Yeah. If you're behind them, don't get so.
Yeah, just making sure you give that enough space.
It's like 5-10 feet.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, but making sure you're.
See, I know where it is.
Yeah.
It's these trick question things. It's.
Well, it's funny. It's funny, but not funny, really. It's how we as human beings tend to make things that much more difficult for ourselves. So, in the sense, because we tend to do that, yet it's funny in that sense, but yet, really, if we just step back and be like, do we really need to make it that complicated? Really. I think oftentimes as a species, humans our own species here, I think we tend to make things harder on ourselves than knowing it's necessary. And I think there could have been a lot of stuff actually avoided if we just didn't make it that complicated.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I understand there's got to be rules and regulations, but that's not the problem. It's when we're making them, is it common sense? Is it the right fact of making them? So that's a whole different adventure itself on that.
Yes.
So, but yeah, no, I just again would like to say thank you to Bo for sharing the information she did.
Yes. Thank you.
Just kind of listening in, that's some good information that you gave, especially about the physical therapist and just how important physical therapists are, really. Because I mean, especially if you look at someone who has had a stroke or someone that's had an injury that now they have to live with that's now permanent, having a therapist around like that helps them be able to maintain some type of living decency,
I believe Tim Curry had his manager pretty much was his caregiver.
Yeah, and she seemed to be doing a great job.
Yeah, I know it was pretty tight just trying to get the pictures, and I know a lot of us were trying to get him to talk and stuff like that. And it was cool because I wanted to do a video or a picture of Tim Curry's reaction of seeing one of his co-stars from the Stephen King's It, who played the original young Mike Hamill. So I wanted to really see if he remembered, and we got to kind of see. I saw the smile, going really slow to see him smile at Mike, and he was just like, "Yeah, I remember."
Yeah, that was actually cool because I was watching when I was standing watching that. That was so amazing, and that's where a really good physical therapist or therapist would come in and be able to help with that.
Yeah,
That's a good example of that. But just to watch him have that smile, saying, "Yeah, I recognize you. This is my buddy from one of the movies."
And we kind of did like a group video, even with his other original cast members with Mike, and did we give it to his manager so they can do it where she can show him the private video that I was trying to get everybody together on it.
Oh yeah, that was so
very
awesome.
special.
Yes, I agree. Very special. Very special. That was very cool that we got the opportunity to go and be there. I think I was talking to my aunt and one of my cousins shortly after we went out there, and they were just so stoked about just the fact that I got to meet Tim Curry, one of the greatest actors in my opinion out there.
Yes.
And because both of them grew up big time Tim Curry fans, they loved him and everything from It to Home Alone, was it Home Alone 2?
Home Alone 2.
Just about everything.
Horror Picture.
Oh yeah, it's right there. You know, that really I think helped show how diverse he was the Rocky Picture Horror Show. It just showed his versatility. And then going from It and then turning and going to Home Alone 2. Very, very special actor, very gifted.
When he did the Pennywise, that made me really oh my goodness, I'm starting to really enjoy watching horror movies. He made me really fall in love with horror movies. He knows exactly how to turn it on and off.
Oh yeah, he just had that it thing about it. You know, I mean, it's funny using that terminology, it factor in the movie It, but he really did have that special whatever it was to make that happen.
Yeah, that was great. Very classic movie that I really hope everyone will get to watch, because when we went over there, it was crazy. Like everybody acted like they never heard of it.
Oh yeah.
And I had to kind of bring it out, especially who the person who was with us.
Yeah.
That he was one of the original cast members, and I was like, "Have you guys seen the original Stephen King's It? If you have, you might know who this is."
Yeah.
He was one of the original cast members of the Stephen King's It. He played the young Mike.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. The first time I met him, I could see it. I could see him, and just it clicked. Okay.
Mm-hmm. if anybody other place that we kind of didn't realize he was on Sister Sister.
Yeah.
If anybody's seen that old TV show, he was on the second episode, the dating, when he got to date with one of the twins.
Yes,
It was a
yes.
school dance.
Yeah, it was like a school dance. And he, as soon as I saw him walk by, I'm like, yep, that's him. So, yeah, if anybody would watch that, he's the one that's on there as well.
Yeah, he had a
Very, very talented actor.
very, very gifted, very gifted. I'll give the man credit.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. We got to meet him, and we got to meet the original Eddie Biscotti.
Yeah. No, that was
And that was cool because he's actually a bartender out during the day, and then at nighttime he's a DJ. So I was like, that's a crazy mix right there. That's cool.
that is awesome.
So all of them are super nice. They made me feel welcome to be part of the Losers Club. It was awesome.
It was. I mean, just sitting there to be able to spend some time with the guys like that. Just amazing, awesome. They're awesome dudes. That's all I can say. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was nice for having them welcome us into their world. That was awesome.
Oh, it was. I felt, I could really see the sincerity, the absolute respect. Just the genuineness was something I really appreciated quite a bit. So I'd like to say thank you to both of them.
Yes, thank you.
I don't think I can ever say enough thank yous to really ever completely show my feelings. I mean, this is one of those things where you just got done right and got respected and appreciated in the right ways.
Yes, and hopefully we get to do some more stuff with them because I know they throw the repetitions of maybe possibly doing some fishing or going skiing and stuff like that. So I was like,
it's on.
awesome.
It's on.
Yeah,
it's on.
It's definitely on for early.
Yeah,
Go
out there, find some of those good fish spots, and just, Marlon, you're gonna have to teach me how to fly fish, my man. Really, I know how to do bass fishing and everything else, but you got to teach me how to do the fly fishing. So that would be a fun thing to do.
Or see us trying to ski. That's gonna be. You should see us. Irish guys do that.
Yeah. If you see this white balls, don't rolling down the window. It's just one of us. Don't worry, we're okay.
Yeah.
We're just having to learn to do it the hard way. That's all.
Yeah.
Just check on us when we hit the bottom of the mountain. Make sure we're fine. Yeah. So no, good men, good guys. Just absolutely I just have I have a lot of respect for these guys. So
definitely. Much with all of them. They're awesome.
Much thank you, much respect.
Hi
everybody. We haven't forgotten you guys over there. But I think I'm going to wrap it up on my end here with saying, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to what we have to say. We appreciate you guys. And please, just like to encourage everybody to take the time to be more respectful and polite towards each other. I know times are kind of rough right now, but we'll get through this. I mean, this is nothing. So we'll get through it. So just take the time to
be patient. Yeah. If you want to learn more about each individual what their disabilities are, just send us an email and we will gladly help you have a better understanding. If it's like a neighbor you're curious about their disabilities, or if it's a family member you want to know more about your child who has disabilities, we will gladly do the research for you and try and help as much as we can, give you in the right direction.
Yeah, and to add on to that, you're not alone out there, okay, guys? You're not alone. We're there. We got you on this. So,
and you need somebody to talk to you if you feel like you're very depressed, if you feel like you are not wanted. There is different things we can be that supportive if you need to. Or for somebody who's in the Oregon area, we have the phone number if you feel like you you just don't feel like living, really encourage to much as you can to help as much as you can. So the phone number that we have on here is that the main number right there?
Yeah.
It's 541-766-6847. And that's to the report abuse is 185-5503. And if you see any like crime, if you see somebody being abused or anything like that, please call 911 or call 541-766-6924. We really need to much as we can to protect each other.
Yes.
So if you see any crime, yes, don't hesitate to call 911.
Yes, and please make sure the individual, keep an eye on them, make sure they're fine. Those that are struggling mentally, you're not alone. Please, we would just encourage you to get the help. You're not alone. There's no shame in having that. You just never know what's going to happen in life. So
we don't understand. We've went through a lot of people that we have lost with suicide and stuff like that.
yeah.
So we definitely encourage if need somebody to talk to. We're gladly here to talk.
Oh yeah. So no shame. Don't be afraid to speak up. You're not alone. Okay. I know you may feel like it, but you're not.
No. And if you want to talk to us, you can all of our social media stuff that we have. We have Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. You can look over mine with Brett Franklin, BRETT, on all those social medias that I just said, or on Wes's.
Yeah, you can hit me up. I have a couple of them out there. I'm Misfit. I have one that's called Misfits Society. You can hit me up on that one, or my own, stuff across the board. The reason why I went with Misfits is because life is interesting and you just never know. So you gotta have some fun with it.
Yes.
But yes, or hit us up on
our main page,
NHIH, or Oregon Angels 2021. So please, we're there. So you're never alone. We don't bite. Oh, I'll take that back. He might bite, but I don't. No worries. We'll make sure you get your tetanus shot afterwards. Okay. Or not tetanus shot, but rabies shots. Okay.
So you're all going to be in good hands. We will much as we can to help.
Yes. So I'm gonna say thank you one last time.
Yes, thank
Have
you,
a great
everyone.
evening. Be safe out
Be
there,
safe.
everybody. Till next time.
Love you all.